Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time for a Tuesday night blether. But first, as always, a little music. Enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proud we stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let a flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, Treble M. I hope you're feeling well, cozy, comfy. It could just be the two of us, you know. Well, it'd be cozy, wouldn't it? I've no idea where they all are. Perhaps they've given up on me. Perhaps that's what it is. I notice my numbers are constantly going down. I'm going in the opposite direction from everyone else. Just as well I don't worry about such things, isn't it? Wait a minute. Oh, there's Budgie. There we are. Someone else has arrived. Someone else is probably on, somebody more important than me. Somebody with a louder voice or a more interesting voice. Who knows? Good evening to you, Budgie. Um, yeah, I had noticed that in the past few weeks. Numbers haven't been the same since I became ill. I noticed that. I'm beginning to slide away. But that's okay. People are entitled to come and go as they feel they want to. That's the whole thing of it. Well, I'm glad you see that, Trevor. Pleases me you say that. Good evening, Linda. Hope you're fine, along with everyone else. Well, it happened like I said it would happen. Mr. Galloway was elected, as I predicted he would be. That's one thing that anyone who's around me for any length of time, especially in real life, um, when I say things are going to happen, they generally happen. People around me know this to be true. What are you saying? I remember 3 years ago there were 7 people watching on a Friday night, and that was a busy night. Edmund, good evening. Good evening. As I say, Budgie, it's just as well I am not obsessed with this number game, you know? I would sit here and talk if only one person turned up. I used to wonder before I ever started this live streaming, I would ask myself, how do people know where you are or how to find you? Still a bit mysterious. But as I say, I certainly don't get myself keyed up over it. Not in the light of what happened to me last year, health wise. That's put everything nicely in its place. Thomas Boyd, good evening, sir. Appreciate the work, John Bill Butler, Labour councillor. 2 weeks ago, Sunday after he comes, my house, it hit job politically. Tom, mum, 89, 87, beg your pardon, age, yes, care for her, my living room as nurse, free personal care. I'm reading that very badly. Trevor M. John, I remember when you first started out before you showed your face. That's right, Travel M. I used to do the 15-minute recordings. I would record them onto a CD and then transfer them onto the channel. I actually enjoyed that. Believe it or not, I enjoyed doing those because I got to script them and then I could deliver them properly. That's how I started out. I had never intended ever to do live streaming. It was because that equipment broke down and there's nowhere around here. In fact, there's nowhere left, as far as I know, that you can get it repaired. And so it was either I give it all up or I try live streaming. But when there's only 4 or 6 people on a live stream, that's always more special. You're making brekkies and you're making lunches, says Linda. Okay. No, there's Anglo-Saxon. Good evening, Anglo-Saxon. Yeah, as I said, I would have been at that time. I'd have been quite happy to go on just doing the pre-recorded material. In fact, I kept all those discs for long enough. Huge pile of them. But I decided, of course, to try my hand at speaking live to the audience. I'm glad I did. Because I've really enjoyed the experience. I mean, it might sound a bit odd considering. Can I remember how long ago? Oh gosh, I would need to. I would need to. I'd need to go looking for that information. To be honest, Travel M. I don't think I have got it anywhere handy. I don't think so. No, that's a few years anyway. That's for sure. A good few years. Don't know if I can find it. See, the thing about the software traveling, oh, it's over 3 years. That's for sure. So, see, the trouble is that they're always changing it. They change everything all the time. I can't find it. Uh, Yeah. No, I can't find it. Used to be here. Used to be just a simple matter of pressing the right button and it would be there. All these things have been changed over the years. But it's definitely over 3 years travelling. That's for sure. Anyway, as I say, I thought it was. I take it you've heard uh, the speech given by our glorious Prime Minister. Quite sinister. Subtext is very sinister. Implying, as he does, that that we, the great unwashed, voted for the wrong people. And that isn't good enough. How dare we have a mind of our own? But if you had listened to any of, oh, there's James. Nice to see you, James. Any idea how long I've been doing this? Treble M would like to know. I know it's over 3 years. I think that would be safe to say over 3 years. But yeah, I thought that was a very sinister speech that he gave. And oh, I think you're right there, Egmont. You definitely are. He's on the way out, that's for sure. You see, this is what they've always depended upon. That we don't have any choices. You either vote for one or t'other. And it's a problem I expect you've spent as much of your time thinking about as I have my time thinking about. Budgie is talking to Thomas. The words Labour councillor just sounds like a free Masonic vampire to me. That's an insult to vampires. Come on, Budgie. I prayed for you. Yeah. But yeah, it was very sinister. And yeah, Doberman. Good evening. Who's the top shakers? I like your logo, by the way, if I've never said before. Did you make that yourself? He does like to lapse into the. Oh, there's William. Oh yeah, mates. He's saying, did you get the information, William, about the movie? I suppose I should let you all know it's the movie that has been chosen by our sensum is Pan's Labyrinth. If anyone has seen it, I suppose I should try and that's what he has chosen. I have that film in my collection, William. I'll have you know. I bought that film. Trevor Williams got it. Interesting. Is that a porno? No, not quite. Uh, BBC used to have a film critic by the name of Mark Kermode. And I used to watch it when I had television. And I came to regard his opinion on films as being pretty sound. And that was one of the films that he recommended to go watch in the cinema, Pan's Labyrinth. But I decided to buy it, and it's an interesting movie. Aye, and a bit pretentious, but you've seen it. Budgie's seen it as well. Well, that's interesting. And you haven't seen it, will you? But I'm not surprised that you haven't seen it. I'm not going to say one way or the other whether you'll enjoy it or not. It's a different kind of film. Modern it is in colour and it does have sound, so you're all right. I've had it. I mean, it's been out for a while now. Well, that's a good, very good way of putting it, Treble M. It's a niche film. Yeah, it is that. It is that. Doberman says Pan's Labyrinth is good. I seen it. That's about fascism and monsters. No, well, I would say that's probably a fair assessment. Good evening, Toffee. I've been looking forward to getting in bed since I woke up this morning. Absolute bliss. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get old. You know you're in trouble when you start looking forward to going to bed. And it's getting earlier. It's a bitch being old because you never get enough energy for anything. That's what I don't like. I've got no energy. And I've spoken to enough medical people to know that it doesn't matter how much food you eat or vitamins you put in your body or anything like that, you will never recoup the energy that you once had when you were younger. You just can't get it back. Good evening, Rory. The difference is, Toffee, is when you get old, you don't have a hectic day, you have a niche day. It's horrible. Just don't have enough energy to do very much. And you guess there just seems to be no way to get that energy. It's a real bitch, honestly. You're all complaining about it. It's not so bad. That's probably about right. Toffee is about the youngest here. Yeah, I'm sure he is. Doberman's mind when you were young, when you were wee, you'd run about for hours all day. I'm not sure what that is. Molasses with a toady on a stick. Good times. No, I never did that, I must say. Run after the lassies, of course, you know. We all did that, except the lassies. There's a dog expert speaking, William. Just let him out the front door. He'll be sound if he'll find his way home. Yeah, most dogs do. It's not a question will they find their way home. It's a question of when will that happen. Uh, yeah, chasing the lassies, eh? I wonder if. I wonder if. I wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent. Anybody remember that? Yeah? I don't know what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for. Where the hell is it? You always looking for something, you never find it. Yeah. Here's something from the past. So let me clear this out of the way, get it sorted, and a wee reminder, very, very short reminder of the past. I hope you enjoy it. It's only a couple of minutes. It's called Georgie.
Georgie, Porgy, pudding and pie kissed the girls and he made them cry. And when the girls came out to play, Georgie Porgy ran away. Will you come and play with me? We could play at hide and seek. If the girls come out to play, we can change to KKT.
I think it is. But George IV. I'm not really sure. It could easily be. Well, that's what I did, Linda. I just added to it. I've tried. It's not the one I was looking for, though. Gosh, never find things when you're looking for them. Eddie. It's here somewhere. Well, I suppose I could put that on. Oh, here's another one. I can't find the one I'm looking for. Always bloody typical. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this.
Summer's in the air, laughter everywhere, queuing for a bus out of town. A long picnic day down Blunderson Bay, sea salt turning us light brown. I climbed up the trees and I ran down the breeze. I was simply a street playing boy. Saturday matinee brought color to my grave. Movies that always came out right, where Chaplin was king, but Stan and Ollie could sing. Queuing for ices by torchlight, I wished it were me, but I never found a key. I was simply a movie-struck boy. endless street games, they all had their names. Trains that whistled up steam, Sunday church bells, bakery smells, tea cakes bursting out with cream. I like bread and jam, I got minnows in the lap. I'm simply a street playing boy. Spring was in the air, the trees were hanging bare. I was chilled by February rain. A 7-year-old fool tumbled in from school. I'd never be the same boy again. No, I don't think that I cried when my mom said my dad died. I was simply a street playing boy. No, I don't think that I cried when my mom said my dad died. I was simply a street playing boy. I give back all my toys, all the movie love toys, just to be a two-parent street boy.
There you go, folks. Oh. Yes, that's me as a boy. Oh, it's 7 or 8 there. Toffee, Chaz and Dave. I think they are, well, I'm sure they're still on the go. Sure they are. Alex Jones, discussing her husband Sam's recent imprisonment. Looks like it's going viral. Even the judge has blocked his ex channel. That's a shame. I hadn't heard Toffee. They're very popular in their time, of course. Turning the fogs, yeah. Alex Jones, right. With you now, Rory. Well, it looks a bit heavy-handed. 2 years. Just looks a bit heavy-handed to me. I'm going to make the reasonable assumption, Jones' dad. I'm going to make the reasonable assumption that these sticker posters, these tiny little stickers that you put on lampposts and what have you, didn't have anything terribly outrageous printed on it. Yeah, well, I know somebody like that, Toffee. Alex Jones is funny, but he needs to use his indoor voice. His shouting gives me a migraine. Yeah, well, I know somebody who's like that. And anytime they come into the company, I've just got to leave. And that's why. It's simply that. Oh, gee, the head. Oh, bye. Doberman. No. Eh, Stickers should carry 5 years just for being a prick on putting stickers all over the place. Well, it's been an illegal thing for a long, long time, and it doesn't have to be political either. Now, I didn't know that, folks, about Chaz and Dave. Chaz died about 10 years ago. You, the way you're saying that there, Budgie, I assume he's the one that put the material together more than the other one. Wurzel's. Well, that's good. GB News gave him some support on one of their segments. Triple M is informing us. I didn't know. You folks seem to watch more YouTube online material than I do. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. And that's him. He's got a record now, which will stay with him forever, which is not great. Yeah, not great. I don't know if you care for this. We'll try it. There's no, I don't have any visual for it though. That's the trouble. No visuals. Well, I think it's heavy handed. I really do. And as we said before on this subject, they'll likely put them in where there's a lot of foreign elements, shall we say. Have a listen to this. I hope this brings something joyful to you.
Cartwheels turning, Christ is in the road. Workmen and horses riding the narrow road. Chestnut stallions, russet would shine in the sun. Sugar for walkers, work that was never done.
Here's this. Don't want this thing. Get yourself solid.
And sometimes dry horse on the back. It was a stagecoach, cowboys way out west, and we'd fight Injuns, shoot them all down with our gun. Just like
yeah.
our heroes, we knew how it was done.
Yeah, I have those movies in mind. Walk past the phones, horses and carts. Great.
Cartwheels turning, Clysters in the road, workmen and horses riding the narrow road. Chestnut stallions, brass that would shine in the sun. Sugar for walkers, work that was never done.
There you go. Your music is extraordinaire, says Trevelyan. I clean my streets, says Doberman. I help folk with tax credits, pensions, housing, and law, plus more. Well, that's really good to hear. That's really good to know. Budgie, I love this one, John. Traditional music. The timing is crazy. Offbeats. I don't need no platitudes. Okay, it wasn't. Oh, there's Sir Thomas. Good evening, Sir Thomas. Good evening, John. You are looking rather well this evening, may I say. Thank you. Thank you. This is my latest carry on. Naughty shave round here, and then it'll come off at the weekend. I can't play that again. Budgie, you can't do that. That's bad form. Never do that to an audience. Play one right after the other like that. It's not the one I was looking for, though. I can't find the one I was looking for, which is a bit crazy. It's just ridiculous. Well, I suppose I'll play this, and this might. How about this? It's not exactly a song. And it's not mine, by the way. This is a traditional piece. Hope you enjoy it. Sound's not working, says Ultra Nationalist. And do we have a sound problem, folks, that I don't know about? Yeah, no, that's something we'll need to do again. There's no sound. Sounds okay, says Toffee. Good now. Hmm, that's funny. That's strange. Should be all right. I take it you can hear me all right then, folks. Yeah? Was it something perhaps to do with that track? Can hear you, but not the music, says Budgie. Huh. That's strange. Let me try something else then, folks. Just need to figure this out. Try this. See how this goes. I'm going to put on another track and tell me if you can hear it. Okay. So here we go.
Somewhere far from home, I chased the rainbow sky, always on the run. There were no reasons why. On a cold and windy night, huddling from the rain, another troubled soul who didn't know his name. He offered all he had, an ancient piece of bread. It doesn't seem like much, it was the way that it was said. He asked me to explain why a boy was on the street, living rough like him. Was I admitting defeat? He saw my cheap guitar, asked if I could play the only song he knew, the Beatles, Yesterday. Children of the night, hardly from the rain. He knew that sad old song, but he didn't know his name. Children of the night, hardly from the rain. He asked me to explain why a boy was on the street, living rough like him. Was I admitting defeat? Then he saw my cheap guitar, asked if I could play the only song he knew was the Beatles' Yesterday. Children of the night, huddling from the rain, he knew that sad old song, but he didn't know his name. Children of the night, huddling from the rain, he knew that sad old song, but not his fucking name.
Well, I'm glad that's sorted. Nothing wrong with the sound. Still can't find that, the one I was looking for. Never mind. Glad you liked that. Yeah, I was living rough myself, and I came across this guy, and he was so far going, he didn't know who he was. I asked him several times. He didn't know who he was. Psychedelic. Yep. It's so sad what is being done to the UK, says Treble M. But it will be turned round one day, Treble M. Perhaps not by you and I, but it will be turned round. Of that, I am convinced. Of that, I am convinced. What else can you say? What else can one say? Anyway, I am going out on Saturday night, so I'm looking forward to that. Toffee is asking me, what do you think about George Galloway being elected in Rotherham recently? I think it's brilliant, Toffee. I've been saying that. I predicted that he would be elected there. And and the reason why is because he will give confidence to others to stand as independents, and this is what we need. We need our people to stand for election. because that's what scares the living daylights out of them. You could see that on Sunak's face on Thursday night when he came out in front of number 10. He was scared. He was scared. They all are. And Galloway knows how to deal with them because he's been there before many times, and that's the other advantage. Morally, the conversation about our demise is breaking our people down. Doorstep politicians, or be silent. We'll be fine as long as we keep breeding the haggis, says Rory. Budgie. Living rough is just another term for build back better. I like that. And pretend to get Brexit done. Yeah, how true that is. So yeah, I think this is a good thing. I think it'll invigorate a lot of people, show that we can beat the system, although it's all rigged against us, as we all know. I thought it was very alarming what was said by Sunak in front of number 10 after the election. But that shows you how frightened they really are by us, and they are frightened by us. Doberman's saying the army is starting soon. Again, that's possible. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. There's a bigger concern there, of course. And I saw the beginnings of it, something I didn't know it was in existence. But I'd been talking about it for years, long before I ever came on here. It's called, I don't know if any of you good people have heard of it. It's called the Muslim vote. It all needs torn down. We can't look backward. It failed us. No, that's true. Again, I would agree with you, Budgie, wholeheartedly. And we have to take advantage of this. We have to find people who are willing to stand, and we have to get organized. Not saying that we can sweep to power, not saying that at all. But it's only going to take a few people in the Commons to begin with. Rishi's mediating for half an hour longer. No, I think it was an excellent result for us. I knew it would happen. I think it's if you think about it, folks. Not only did Galloway win, but a complete independent with no what looks like no organisation and no money behind him came second, which is even better. This independent guy, some local man, he came a partner. He didn't come from nowhere. He just didn't get any coverage. So he comes in right behind Galloway, throwing the main parties right out of kilter. That did. Just as much as George Galloway taking first place, this man taking second place. Brilliant. I was so pleased for him. And for us, again, it should give confidence to people. Yep, that's exactly it. And that was without, well, superficially, that was without him even trying. Apparently, not money. He doesn't have any money, in the sense that he's not some local wealthy guy. He doesn't seem to have any organisation behind him, and got no coverage. That's brilliant. That's his first time out. Wow. Yeah, Linda, you're looking at it correctly, I think. And just think, if they had put the kibosh on Galloway, we would possibly have had an independent. I think we would have. I do. I believe that. Rishi's been crying into his £1 billion curry, yeah. No, I agree with what Rory's saying here. This man's got so much money, he doesn't care about money. He doesn't need to care about money. Do you really think that Rishi gives a damn? He's so wealthy, he couldn't really care, apart from the 50k for his feature speeches, of course. Nah, native running Scotland. Let's gather at Holyrood to say the poor. Absolutely, ultra. I feel the same as yourself. I think it's outrageous. It's not allowed anywhere else. This country is a is a doormat for the world. I didn't realise how much of a doormat it was until recently. Yeah, David Lammy. Wow, Diane Abbott, future Home and Foreign Secretaries. For F's sake, says Anglo. Yeah, a woman who doesn't know which shoe goes on which foot. And that's not a joke, by the way, if you think it is. Disgraceful. Well, that's one way to look at it, Anglo. House of Commons. Yeah. Near billionaire MP, PM rather. What's common about that? Not a jot. And there are many millions in there, millionaires, should I say. On both sides, of course. I'm not that cynical, Budgie. I bet Galloway is funded by Israel. Doubt it. Tommy Robinson of the Muslims. It's all a pantomime. Democracy is an illusion. Well, white people need to unite. Forget religion. Let's unite. Agreed. Agreed. I have tried. I have. Honestly, I've tried. I started the party. I tried. I still try. Why doesn't it happen? I don't know. I'm quite prepared to stand aside for somebody else to lead. If it's me that's a problem, I'll happily stand aside. We are a people, yeah. He did indeed, Budgie. David Lammy went to a Bilderberg group meeting. He is another think tanker. As I say, I'm doing my best, but my best doesn't seem to be good enough to get people to join together. There's three parties now in the country that support our view when there should be one. Well, thanks for that, Doberman. You're not the problem, John. Just most of us don't see a political solution. Don't beat yourself up. I tried that, Ultra. I tried them. They wouldn't even talk to me. Shame on the Scottish Family Party for not joining forces. That's what I tried. Form a sort of coalition on policies that we agree on. We don't have to give up identity. Political identity, that didn't need to be given up. But we could have worked together. We could still do that. We've got three parties. Oh, there's Mr. Rodney Johnston is with us again. Oh, she'll be the shoe shine lady, will she not? What role will Diane Abbott have when Labour get in? Shoe shine lady. She knows what shoes go on which feet. Well, I'm sure he will do that, Rory. If not New York, well, probably New York. Yeah, well, that's where the money is, isn't it? That's where the money's located. I did hear a rumor that Richie was planning to move to New York prior to not being elected. Yeah, Chancellor. Yeah, I think she should be in charge of shoes. She knows exactly what feet they go on. Shoe polisher. Toffee saying, no chance interviewed that Neil guy from the Scottish Family Party. He seemed like, an okay guy. He's a normie, but he has the right intentions. Well, I can only tell you what I know, Toffee, and that's what I know. As soon as I found out that he existed, uh, I got in touch with him, invited him on to the channel for a chat, suggested that we join forces. And they wouldn't have it. Well, that's our Greek name, is Budgie. That's our Greek name. Oh, what a man. So I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't understand why they think they can make it themselves. That family party, because they won't. We need to band together until we've got the numbers. I've come to the conclusion, says Ultra. I want an armed rebellion. Screw it. Or F it. That takes money. And we don't have that. Well, I don't know any organisation that's got money. My God, Budgie, is that right? The Scottish Family Party. Christmas video was blacks and some others. Jesus. Didn't realise that, Budgie. I'm glad you've brought that up to my attention. Didn't know that. I did wonder about their judgment, of course, when I did wonder when they put forward an open openly homosexual man to Big Macs. I did wonder about that. But I didn't know that about their video. Is that still a problem, Toffee? Salmonella? Is that still a thing to be concerned about? The Scottish countryside is phenomenal. It is indeed. It's still a thing, is it? I don't know anything about that, to be honest. Sounds nice. I've got a cracking wee waterfall not far from my house, says our Doberman. So I just keep working away at the party. I'm still. Do I go into the countryside often? Ask Mr. Rodney Johnston. Well, not anymore, I don't. Sad to say, because in order to do that, to go into the countryside, you really do need a car to take you to a spot where you can sit and then you can go for walks that way. I used to do a lot of it when I had a motorbike. I did a lot of it then. Because when I had a motorbike, a lot of that time I was a postman. And when I was finished work, I would go to one of the local restaurants that did a cheap lunch, get a lunch, go home, change out of my uniform, and there's a local place that I know, Shahill Glen it's called, and not accessible for cars, but it is for a motorbike. And I used to go there with a bike, park the bike, and just lie out in the grass and enjoy the sounds and the fresh air. And quite more often than not, I would fall asleep, which was fine. As a postie, as you all know, I was up really early in the morning, so I'd be tired. Then having a decent meal in me, it wouldn't take much for me to fall asleep. And that's what I would do. lie out sleeping under the trees, listening to the river falling down the hill, the birds and all that. It was beautiful. Still is a beautiful place. But you really need transport to get to these places. Motorbike's the best because you can traverse certain parts and go into areas that a motor car can never think about going. So sad to say, um, those days I think are behind me, to be honest. But yeah, I once did that regularly. Anytime it was a decent weather, I would go there to Shahill Glen and just enjoy it. It was a place, believe it or not, that had been vastly improved by the local men during the Great Depression, when there was so much unemployment. Some of the local men used to come up to Shahill Glen and they would improve it. They would make stairs so that you could easily walk your way up by the river. They would cut little alcoves in the side of the hills and tarp them all up with various images and idols that they would make from bits of wood and what have you. It was quite artistic what they did to this place. Cleared out an area where there was a bit of a waterfall, a short one, and they went in obviously, and they took a lot of the rocks from the bottom and lifted the banks up and created what was a passable little swimming pool. This is what the men did to pass their time when they were unemployed. And quite possibly they were part of the same folk who had set up a tent area down at the beach where families were living because they had been evicted. And that's the place I used to go to. I still would if I had a motorbike and the weather was good, because not that many people know about it, which is the other thing I liked about it. Linda's saying that she lives by a waterfall. It's good. Budgie, take a look at it. The Christmas video is about family, but the Scottish family are not Scottish. All right, I get it. Yeah. I have more horses pass my house every day, says Rory, than pickers of cotton. Pick a bale of cotton. So that's the answer to your question, Mr. Johnson. Not often enough. I've been slightly compensated because in the days when I did that, I didn't have anywhere else to go because of where I was still living at home, and there was no place to I could have done that where my mother was living at the time. But my neighbour down the stairs, who's or used to be a builder, he tells me, and he's one of these men who can't sit quietly for 5 minutes. He has changed the place at the back of the house. So it's really reasonable to sit there. Which is what I do now. Or sometimes I take a walk. Well, I'm hoping I can still do this. I haven't done it since I took this bloody cancer. But there's a bowling green not too far from here that I used to walk to, sit there quietly. Because I'm not always in the mood for conversation, believe it or not. I'm not. I'm not always in the mood for other conversation. And anytime I'm out, he'll come out because he's looking for conversation. And most of the time, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. But just now and then, I just like to sit there with my own thoughts. So I go to this bowling green and sit there quietly. Nobody knows me, nobody bothers me. So I enjoy that. But as I say, that was before I took ill. I don't know if I've got the lungs and the energy to make it there and back. I hope so. I shall do my best to try. I'm out during the day if the weather's okay, and I'm walking around the back of the house. I've got a particular little walk I made. Getting my strength back, I hope, to my legs. There's nothing I can do about the injured lung, but I can do something, I hope, to improve the strength of my legs, and I'll be able to do that walk. Hopefully, as I say, I can make it to the bowling green. It is our duty to make migrants feel no welcome, says Ultra, like India, etc. Just give them a dirty look and say, go home, Scotland for the Scottish. Well, that's what the Irish Party are doing. If you've seen any of their stuff, Ireland for the Irish, House the Irish, of course. I do that, says Doberman. I did 3 hate crimes last week. As I say, we all do our own little bit of resistance, whatever that might be. and that will be different for everyone. But the only time we can ever really do anything, as I say, is if we take Ultra's uh, point of view, it would be a violent response. And if it's not that, then we have to get control of political power. That's it. Or we do nothing. But I'm not made that way. I cannot do nothing. I have to do something, even if that is simply doing what I'm doing now. I know, I know that. I know exactly what he's talking about. But apart from the fact that it still needs two elements that we don't have. I don't like to throw the cold water over folk, but the two elements we don't have for that solution is money and people. We still don't have enough people because you need people and you need money to buy the things that one will need to organize. Oops, up there, John. Armed rebellion, sir. I will wait. Why do folk not care? That's a big question. Why do they not care? I think the Scottish psyche, I said this before, it's a kind of long winded answer to your question, but it's a sincere answer to your question. The Scottish psyche was damaged hundreds of years ago. When we were betrayed by our own folk and it smashed, and this is my opinion only, it smashed the Scottish psyche and it's never been the same since. I'm talking about the Glencoe massacre. That had never happened before. That you took people into your house and they betrayed you in no bigger way than what was done by killing folk in their house. So that's part of it. That's just a tiny part of where the Scottish psyche was damaged forever. It's never recovered from that. And that's another thing, of course. I mean, people make not enough of that, but it's very important that Bruce did murder in a church. Another huge blow to the Scottish psyche. Huge blow. Good evening, Bass. Now that's hundreds of years ago, but that has lingered on and moved through the generations. and has an effect. But it's not the answer, because I don't think there is an answer. I think there are many answers to your question. You must remember that Scotland has never been the same since Culloden, because what happened at Culloden had never happened before either. That was another unique thing that happened in our history, on British history, in that, for that matter, not just Scottish history, but British history. The standing orders for the British Army at Culloden were, for the first time, not the last time, but the first time, that there were no prisoners to be taken, that everyone was to die that morning. And once the battle was over and Charlie and his henchmen fled the battlefield with £25,000 of our money, they don't tell you that in the romantic story, but he took the money and scarpered. And then the English army went into Inverness and laid waste to Inverness. And then the hunt went on for Charlie, and you all know the story. I think you're right, Anglo. Wallace was of Welsh and Norman ancestry. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you're correct. Must ask my historical friend. He knows these things. And we have to, and Bass is right also. We Western people have to stop this white and Christian guilt bullshit. And we do. Oops. You were in the British Army. We Lowland Scots did most of the damage. That is also very true. He speaks the truth. But that was a long time ago. No, I haven't read that book. My closest friend is an academic historian, PhD, and obviously I tap into what he knows. He's not just educated from the books. I mean, he's one of the few people that you'll find in education who actually enjoys his subject and actually keeps up with his subject. Well, I always liked that idea, Rory. Even the Emperor Hadrian had to build a wall to keep us out. We caused that much havoc. You're not quite right, Budgie, because in the Culloden there was Irish and there was Welsh and there was English and Lowland Scots. It was a mixture. The Stuarts, of course, representing the Catholics. But the point I'm making is that Scotland, what people tend to not know, especially Scottish people, is what happened after Culloden. Well, what happened after Culloden was our language was was forbidden. Our literature was forbidden. Our music was forbidden. Our musical instruments, along with it, were forbidden. All the culture in Scotland came to a dramatic halt. Boom, stopped. And as you well know, people were forced abroad to the far-flung corners of the empire. All of that happened, and it had a tremendous cultural shock to the country that, again, we have never got over. And think about it. Scotland, unlike England, we don't have a theatrical history. Theatre never blossomed here. Not because of lack of talent or anything. No, 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 no. Because language was forbidden. You couldn't speak it. You couldn't sing it. You couldn't write it. So that development from the oral tradition into the written tradition and onto the stage never happened. Unlike in England, where it flourished, and thank goodness it did, because we have all that great literature from those days from England. We've got a bit of it now in Scotland, but not like we should have. That has cobbled us in a cultural way. Again, something that's never really, uh, we've never really shaken it off. This is where this inferiority thing comes from in Scottish people. It's due to these psychic shocks to the nation. And it's only now, or was in the 20th century, that we've just come through, that a national library was set up for the Scottish written word. Some of my own work, some of my own written work, is in the National Library, believe it or not. But this is a new thing. Unlike what has happened in England, which is much more organic. And all of this, whether you're aware of it or not, has this ongoing effect on politics and how we express ourselves politically, how we see ourselves politically. We always see ourselves in relationship to England, which is wrong, but that's what we do, and it's because of all these things that I'm talking about. Men of Lothian. Again, you're right, ultra-nationalist. We Scottish do need to unite, and doorstep it's the only solution. Irish history tells us that. It worked for them. But how is it to be achieved, and who is going to take the task on? You'd have to explain yourself there, Ultra. Well, foundations are already in place to resist the tyranny of Paki British government. I don't see it. So you would have to explain that to me privately. It's not something that we we should be discussing on the airwaves, my friend. And I'm serious about that. I don't talk about there's things that I don't talk about politically because this is an open forum and because I am the leader of a political party. There are a lot of things that I don't talk about. Now, you're right, Budgie, there were. That was always the case. Part of the divide and conquer stuff. So I honestly, and I'm being serious and flat with you, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you obviously know something that I don't, and this is not the place to tell me either, not in an open platform. I agree with you there. That is just nonsense, of course. They are. They're just nonsense. Agenda 2030 is fake nationalists. SNP agenda. They hate Scottish people, yeah, because they're on the wrong side of the globalist agenda. You have a point there, Doberman. You do have a point. Anglo saying, I've heard over 90% of the privately owned land in the UK is still owned by descendants of Normans. That really wouldn't surprise me. There was always, in all my life, there's always been talk of reformation, reforming land and all this stuff. It's never happened. It's just talk. Just talk. That's all it is. I don't know who owns most of the land. I know who should own most of the land. That should be us. Ultra is saying politicians have sold us all out. Absolutely, doorstep them, traitors. Who would disagree with you? No, they never went away. They never went away. At least we all agree that Hibs are shit. No, Uh, I'm voting for the Woodlander. Good evening, Robert. Good evening, sir. Well, you get visitors, you get visitors. Ding dong. Oh gosh, it's 11 o'clock, folk. Time to place your bed warming pan under your eiderdoon. Eiderdoon. Oh, you got a nice clear night, William. Well, not now that I know you have not seen our movie review pick. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it. Well, this is true. We always have had different tribes, different areas. We'll get different languages, even different slangs, which totally confuses visitors. uh, I'd like to have a private discussion sometime with a friend. Well, with all of you, to be honest. That would be real nice. I'd like to know what he's referencing. Yeah, oh, there he is there. But I don't want to tell and open this up on a public platform. So why ready? So who ready to storm Hollywood? Who's organising mass protests to get Hamza Youssef? We need to organise a protest or doorstep. I think I think myself actually, not that I've given it any great thought, that we might see the end of him very soon. I certainly hope so. It's nice to see the demise of the SNP, that's for sure. I just wish my own party would take off in a big way. But I can only do my best. I can only talk to so many people at a time. Your end of Hamas, Hamza is a different end from mine. Yeah, we should go to the pub, that's for sure. We should meet up, is the answer. Somehow. Been talking about it for long enough. We are so spread out. It's a good thing in a way. Makes it damn inconvenient, of course, for us to meet up. But anyway, it's time to close down the stream. I'll be back on Friday, of course, and we'll see what's what. As I say, I'm going out on Saturday night, myself and family members. It's a wee sort of celebration for surviving the cancer. Vas, I cannot answer your question. I don't have that. Well, thank you. It's nice to hear individuals give me that kind of support. I do appreciate it, believe it or not. And we should. I mean, I've been talking about this. We all have been talking about this ultra for long enough, getting together. We got close to it a couple of years back, but of course, I was totally out of it last year. That's for sure. Thanks very much, Toffee. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I hope your wee dogs are doing all right. You haven't mentioned them for long enough, so I assume they're okay. That's nice. It's nice of you to say that, folks. Good that I'm here to hear the song. Have a great night, John. All right, let me just. I need to finish this point with Budgie. Uh, I looked into the budget. I looked into this idea of having a PO box, not because I was looking for you folks to send me things, right? It wasn't that. It was simply how can I get a connection going between me and each of you in the chat. And I looked into it, but it's very expensive, budgie. That's the thing. Now, what do you get for this money? Well, what you get is you. I get the ability to say to you folk, by the way, folks, I've got a PO box. If you want to send me money or you want to send me things, here's the PO box address. Now that's what you get for your money. But I would feel really bad if I said to you good people, you give me the money and I'll open a PO box. What would it be for? It would only be for you sending me things. And that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to get stuff, pardon me, to get stuff off you or to get money from you. The only time I ask for money is for the party and for doing things via the party so that I can rustle up publicity for the party. So that's the problem with the what do you call it? The postal box. Robert is saying, be easier to join the party. The links are murder, John. Could I send a postal order? Yes, you could. You could, Robert. That's how Treble M paid her subscription. That's how Steve paid his subscription. What you would have to do, Robert, is if you wanted to join the party, is you would have to send me an email, okay? So that I then get your email. I need your email, right? So just hang on a wee bit. And there is my email address. Now I'm going to leave it up there, all right? So if you really want to join the party, this is what you do. You send me an email. It doesn't have to be a long letter or anything. Just, hi, John, here's my email address. I want to join the party. Now, before you do any of that, you have to be prepared. Now, this is not my rule, okay? This is government rule, all right? And I don't like it any more than you. But here is the rule. To become a party member, I need your real name and your real postal address so that I can then add you on to the National Register of party members. Now, the only person who gets to see that is me. And I'm the only one who knows how it's kept and where it's kept. Nobody else. That means there cannot ever be a security breach of information because I'm the only one who knows where it is and how it's kept. Now that's why it's done that way, so that it cannot be accidentally leaked. Because I know some of you have got jobs and things to protect. I understand all of that, and it's sad that it's got to be that way. But I do understand that. So you have to be prepared to give up your name and your postal address to me. Only to me. Now, if you're prepared to do that, that's how you do it. Use that email address. That's my email address. You send it, the information, okay? And what I will do is I will write back to you and I will give you my private address. If you're prepared to trust me, I'm prepared to trust you. So I will then send you my private address, and that's where you send your postal order, to my private address. And that's how Steve did it, and that's how Treble M does it. The last time I inquired of a P.O. box, it was something like £70 for 6 months. It's very expensive. Now that would be different if I was asking for money to be sent to me, or I was looking for things all the time from you, but I'm not. As you well know, I'm not. So a post office box doesn't really serve any useful purpose. It's easier if you do it this way. I get that too. I mean, I'm not particularly, au fait with the high-tech stuff myself. I'm not really. I depend quite often on my son to know how to fix things or to do things. But there is no other way. And quite a few people have done it this way. Why do you think I scrapped the PayPal thing? It was too complicated. And somebody in somewhere in PayPal, somebody deliberately sabotaged it because they knew it was a political party. So they deliberately sabotaged that. And once I got it straightened out, and it took me bloody months to get it sorted, I stopped using it. I went on to buy me a coffee because that's the other way you can do it. You can buy me a coffee at £5. That's why I dropped the subscription to £5 because it fitted very nicely into buy me a coffee. So you can do it that way if you wish, or you can do the postal order thing. I don't mind either way, but I still need your real name and your real postal address. That's government rules, not mine. So it wouldn't matter if you were joining any party in the country. That's what you have to do. Right, Robert, I'll look for that to come. Once I get hold of your information, I'll send mine. Um, I suppose it's easier. It's easier in one level. It's easier at my age. I seem to have less to lose, but I've still got a state pension that they could screw around with. Right, so I still have something to lose, but not as much as some of you folk. If you wish to know, it's not a state secret. I can tell you that the party secretary is sensible. We've put in an extra layer of security for him because he asked for it. But he's the secretary. That might help to make up your mind one way or the other. So think about it, folks. And that's how it's done. I've made it as simple and as cheap as I can possibly make it. Right, folks. I stayed on to give you that extra information. No, somebody's bought me a coffee. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I really do. But you know I'm not on here for that. You know I'm not on here for making myself money. You're all welcome to join the party. The more that join, the better. But anyway, I'll speak again. Uh, well, it's, it's a bit melodramatic, Budgie. We'll go to my certain death for you. But he is a secretary. I was I was very, very spectacularly pleased when Sensum joined the party, and he was one of the early members, I might add. He's such a great lad. And that's why I was so pleased to have him. And he has given great service to the party already, believe it or not. Uh, don't know who it is. He's given his real name there. Yeah, well, you know, Toffee, you know. You've been working with him a while now, so you know. William. He's good when he's asleep. Right, folks, I'm going to wind up now, okay? And let's see what we can do. Yeah. My sister is still trying to get hold of this man who is going to help me set up this year's chess tournament. And when I get more info on that, I'll let you know. Okay. And I'll see you on Friday night. Okay, doke. I'm going to leave this up, this email address, right? Make sure you all get it. All right. And if you don't all get it, I can put it up on Friday again if you remind me. Okay. And as I always say, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Friday, goodbye for now. And thank you all for being here. Take care, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye just now. Thanks for that money, whoever it was.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides a fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow.
Thank you, William.
In the eternal flow.
Thank you.
Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together, man.
But love's much more,
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow,
But a very important role.
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, have some consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now,
But we're much more
so much more
than we can
than we
know.
can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow
But a glow
in the
that won't give in.
eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow.
Okay, folks, you take care now. And thanks again for being here. And I'll speak to you all soon. Bye just now.